Hey YouTube friends, welcome back to the channel. So in the last year, I spent $4,114 on Thousand Trails. During the same period, I spent $8,637 at other campsites. Today I'm going to give you my 1-year review of Thousand Trails. Is it worth it? What's the upsides? What's the downsides? And receipts in hand, I'm going to tell you the actual math. Let's get into it. Before we get in the video, you may be asking, what is Thousand Trails? Great question, so glad you asked. Thousand Trails is a membership camping program. Once you join Thousand Trails, your membership entitles you to camp at 80 base Thousand Trails parks and, depending on your membership type, up to an additional 120 Trails collection parks throughout the country. You pay one monthly or annual fee, and for that you camp an unlimited night with certain restrictions, such as the number of nights you're allowed to spend in each park. Either way, it's a phenomenal deal and one of the most cost-efficient ways to camp. But what do the actual numbers show? Before we get into that, I want to tell you a little bit about my use case. I hit the road February 22nd of 2025. I Airbnb'd my house in Denver, grabbed my puppy Odie, and we set out on a grand adventure in a Winnebago Revel Sprinter van. It was fantastic. Along the way, I got the itch to buy a bigger rig, and I ended up in a super seat, which actually made me more and more dependent on a Thousand Trails park, because the reality is, fitting a Super C in a towed Bronco and a little cutout in Forest Service land or BLM land is really just not that easy. Trust me, I've thought a lot about it. And moreover, the roads to get there can be rather rough and not really what my Super C is designed to do. Can it do it? Yes. Should it do it? Probably not. So in 2025, when I had my Winnebago Revel, I ran a mixed camping strategy. I stayed on BLM land, on National Forest Service land, in Thousand Trails parks, in private campgrounds, and basically everything in between. My numbers reflect that. In 2026, I've so far primarily stayed in Thousand Trails parks, a few state parks, and a couple of private RV parks. However, the one thing I can definitely say is for 2026, when I've been in my Super C the whole time, Thousand Trails parks have been my anchor stays. So we're at the most important part. What does my real life journey show you in terms of what a Thousand Trails membership will actually cost you on a per night basis? I'm going to start this with a confession. I'm a numbers nerd. I track every number down to a $3 bag of ice that gets logged into a master spreadsheet, sorted into categories, and put into pivot tables. If all that's Greek to you, all it means is I have an incredibly precise nature and I know exactly how much I spend on every aspect of my life. It just comes from my years in corporate America and running companies. So in 2025, I spent 102 nights in Thousand Trails parks. In 2026, as of April 1st, I've spent 61 nights in Thousand Trails parks. That's just over 163 nights in Thousand Trails parks across 25 different parks. Some folks ask me, what is your favorite? And the truth is, I have a really hard time deciding. I have some parks I love and some parks I frankly just don't like very much, which is why I created my ongoing list, which I'll give you a link to in the description below. So you're probably wondering, what did those 163 nights cost me on a per night basis? In 2025, my total Thousand Trails expense was $3,053. That works out to a little bit over $29 a night. But here's the honest truth. That number's front loaded because I started with a Journey membership, which requires a $500 down payment. Then upgrade to a Adventure membership, which is a $900 down payment. So $1,400 of my $3,053 expense was the upfront fees associated with the new membership. Hence, the cost per night in 2025 was substantially higher than the cost per night in 2026. In 2026, I spent $1,060, which works out so far to a cost of $17.39 a night. Yes, that's right. $17.39 a night, where the industry average to camp is approximately $80 a night. That's what a mature membership looks like, and the longer you hold your membership, the lower the overall cost per night will go. Now let's talk about what I spent on everything else. In both years, across all modes of camping, that includes BLM land, which was free, National Forest Service land, which was free, Walmart parking lots, Cracker Barrel parking lots, private RV parks, Harvest Hosts, state parks, and everything in between. My average cost to camp per night was $39.01. Yes, 1 cent. However, that includes a minimum of 35 nights that were completely free. So when you remove those free nights, the actual cost goes up to $46.60 per night. And some of those include $5 and $10 a night at National Forest Service campgrounds that had no hookups. Overall, if I just looked at private RV parks, the cost per night would be substantially higher than $46. And when you average both years together for Thousand Trails, my cost so far has been $25.24, and that number will just keep going down. So $46, $25. Which is the better deal? You tell me. Real quick before we go on, are you thinking about joining Thousand Trails? Or if you're a Thousand Trails member, are you thinking about upgrading your membership? If you are, please use my referral link in the comments. Joining 1000 Trails is actually the best decision I've made in an RVer. Using my exclusive referral link will get you a free no obligation consultation with a membership specialist I trust who will put you in the right membership for you. This free no obligation consultation can often save you hundreds of dollars off the 1000 Trails website price, and it supports the blog at no cost to you. Please use my referral link. On with the video. But the cost savings are just one part of joining 1000 Trails. The question you're probably asking is, would I do it again? And the answer is a resounding yes, but let me tell you the good, the bad, and frankly the not so great. The cost savings are real. There is no doubt that a 1000 Trails membership can save you thousands of dollars a year in camping fees. I've just shown you the math. $25 a night on average, $17.39 a night this year versus an industry average of $80 a night or $46 a night across all platforms, including free nights at Walmart's, Cracker Barrel's, National Forest Service, and BLM land. That's really hard to beat. Second, the staff may be drinking something, because seriously, most 1000 Trails parks have staff that are beyond friendly and beyond helpful. Occasionally people say some stuff online and it's just not the experience I've had. So far, across 25,000 Trails parks in multiple states across many regions, I have found the staff to be overwhelmingly kind, nice, and helpful. I sometimes wonder if they're secretly giving them some drugs. Number two, the network is bigger than you think. I mentioned that there are about 80 core 1000 Trails parks and about 120 Trails collection parks. Those are spread out through the country, although they're primarily concentrated in the 1000 Trails Smile, i.e. the East Coast, the West Coast, and the Gulf Coast. When you add RPI Parks, Resort Parks International, which are available with the modern Journey, Explore, and Adventure options, you will find that your parks expand greatly. I'm putting up a map that shows the combined network. As you can see, it is truly nationwide, coast to coast. Are there some states like Utah that have no coverage? Yes, there are. However, in many states, in many areas, there's some coverage. Either way, even if you spend some time out of network, you'll save so much money when you're in network that you almost don't care. Hey, real quick, are you enjoying this video? If you are, please hit the like and subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop me a line in the comments. If you're a current 1000 Trails member, please let me know your favorite 1000 Trails park anywhere in the country so I can make sure to visit. If you're not a 1000 Trails member, please tell me why you're thinking of joining. And as promised, the not so good stuff. I've done a whole video here on who should not join 1000 Trails. Seriously, if you fall into one of those categories, you're going to be miserable. Please do not join because you'll write me a nasty gram. But let's talk about the not so good stuff. First of all, these are not luxury campgrounds and they don't even pretend to be. These are budget-friendly campgrounds. That doesn't mean that they don't have amenities like pools, mini golf, and other things that you might associate with camping. It just means that sometimes they're dated, sometimes the sites are smaller, sometimes you don't get full hookups, sometimes the amenities are not in the best shape, think peeling paint, basketball nets that are torn, and things of that nature. However, again, the industry average to camp is $80 a night, and I paid an average of $17.39 so far this year. Not a bad deal. Number two, the inconsistency will drive you nuts. And what do I mean by that? Different parks have different rules, and they're all different. Some parks charge you nothing for a package. Some parks don't allow packages at all. Some parks charge you a $5 fee. One park charges you a $30 fee per package. Some parks allow you to check in at any time. Some parks say no check-in after dark. Some parks say no check-in after 5 p.m. All the rules vary, and that inconsistency can be rather daunting. Once you get used to it, you'll know to call the campground and simply ask the questions that you might have. Number three, the seasonal and annual members can be a bit of a different world. And I say this with all due affection. Some of the Encore parks are more trailer park than resort RV park. And sometimes those seasonal and annuals truly are not happy to have us there. I've had a few where they were almost hostile. Most of the time, however, I have had a wonderful experience and I have been openly welcomed into the community for the 1 to 2 to 3 weeks I was there. And sometimes the park management doesn't seem to enforce the rules on seasonal and annuals. So sometimes the sites are unkept, the trailer homes are unkept, and it just generally creates an overall trashy feel in the park. I don't want to dissuade you, I just want you to be aware it's an issue. And the mildly annoying. The tech dates back to when I was in high school. Yes, I'm serious. I feel like this was the beginning of the interweb. One day you'll go to load the 1000 Trails website and it'll work perfectly fine in Chrome, but not in Safari. The next day it'll work perfectly fine in Safari, but not in Chrome. I can't explain to you why, even though I do a lot of tech stuff, obviously for a living, I'm creating this blog. But the technology can be honestly mind-numbingly frustrating. The other problem you'll find is there's not enough CSRs. Oftentimes you may have to call in to modify a reservation or use the chat function. It's particularly true if you have an existing reservation and you don't want to give it up until you know you have availability in a secured spot at the other park. Or you're trying to get a very high demand park during high use peak time when it's sold out. I have found that there are times where the customer service line actually just hangs up on you because they know there's no way they're calling you back that day. The lack of telephonic customer service reps can be downright frustrating and annoying, especially when you're paying more in a premium for a longer booking window that you then get delayed using by a day or two because there was not enough customer service reps. That having been said, the customer service reps I've talked to are some of the friendliest, nicest people on the planet who legitimately want to help you. So is 1,000 Trails membership worth it? Absolutely. I love my 1,000 Trails membership. It is one of the best investments I've done. An average of $25 a night over 2025 and 2026, and in 2026, $17.39 a night to camp. My camping cost is well below the national average. It keeps me in a super budget-friendly zone. 1,000 Trails membership is one of the best decisions I made. I just want you to have realistic expectations going into it. If you approach this as a discount camping program rather than a luxury camping program, you will absolutely get the value from your membership and you will absolutely enjoy it. Some of the parks are true hidden gems. I love my time at Verde Valley, I love my time at Wilderness Lakes, and many of the parks in between. And if you do decide 1,000 Trails membership may be right for you, be sure to use my referral link that's both in the description and the comments below to access those membership specialists I trust. And if you have found this video helpful, please hit the like and subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop me that line in the comments. Let me know why you're thinking of joining 1,000 Trails. As always, thanks for watching. Take care.